I am Hamster Quest. I play the video game. So why listen to me though? This game's still maturing. Who really knows what's meta? Who even has good ideas on this topic? Yada yada. You see, that's the point. Boom, mistake number one, listening to everything you hear in guides. Okay, wait. Before you accuse me of being hypocritical and roast me in the comment section, I am not here to polarize opinions or do any of that. Everyone can make useful guides with useful information. Just some people will say information like Juno Goalie was good in beta. Okay, but in all seriousness, this is a new game, and people are just trying to be helpful and provide their best opinions based off of the best statistics they have, whether that's anecdotal or using global win rates. It's all I got, and it's still a new game, right? So I'm not here to break down how to make a good guide either. We're not going to get that meta about it, and you're probably not that interested. So let's move forward with what you probably should be doing and what you're here for, and looking for a little insight on whether my opinions are right or you hate them. But we're here to get better as players, all right? So suggestion number one, still watch guides and pro stream. You have to be open to learning and expose yourself to content. You should just keep these tools in mind when doing it. If they're a top pro, like an Omega Plus or a tournament winner, they're doing something right. Watch a bunch of them and look for commonalities and differences in their opinions and playstyles. You'll know you're on the right track when you start forming this mental list of kind of priorities in game that are unequivocally good things to do and bad. I generally call this list the best win options or the highest value options in terms of characters, compositions, trainings, and gameplay decisions you can make based on the current state of the game. All right, well, let's add, what if they're not a pro player? Okay, maybe they have some other ethos, maybe they're a coach, maybe they're high level at a different game, and they just brought over some useful analogies. What is probably going to be more important anyway, if they don't have any of that, is if their information is objective and holistic. So what if someone says Juno Goalie is good because you have slimes, and they go long range, and they stay out a while, and they can cover a lot of the map, and you can even jump around. That's objective. She can do all that, but it might not be holistic because we haven't identified how valuable those things are in the game. You might ask questions like, how often do I need to do those things? How does she compare to different characters that do similar things? If a team is going to run it down as Asher into my net, I'm not really worried about my mobility and coverage of slimes. I'm worried about what I can do directly to her. Can I block off the entire goal to stop her from entering with a Dubu wall or with Atlas Expanse? Or do I have something that can make her lose possession? In this example, your primary is your best option, but if she has an ability, you just lose. So yeah. And another caveat, it might not always be that way. I'm sorry I'm picking on Juno so much. It's just the way things were for her and Goalie in beta. Okay, but let's slow it down and take a breath. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, it's a little different when it comes to macro and micro knowledge. All those things I mentioned before are great for compiling your macro knowledge. You can kind of do it for micro as well, but let's break that down. So when watching the pros or guide makers, occasionally they'll do something that you just didn't know you could do. Like, look at that. That might be useful. We'll put that in a bag we'll call tools. You'll have a collection of these that when you put together will prepare you as a player to have more options in game as you're able to execute them. So that's enough food for thought on watching content and gathering information. Want to guess what I'm going to tell you is the next big mistake that you may or may not be making? That's right, it is the implementation. So here's the pipeline to implement something. Conscious effort to implementing something. It becomes second nature after practice. So you're going to be told something is good, maybe for a really good reason. Try to implement it and then think it's garbage. There's two ways to look at this. If it is, then you shouldn't really be able to find evidence of it really working. And if you're not motivated to see it through and you have other things to test out, then for all intents and purposes, to you, it is garbage. Don't mess with your mental if something isn't fun to play, unless you have a really, really good reason to just grind it anyway. And the other option, it isn't garbage. Check out this graph. When you're consciously trying to implement something literally ever, you're pulling your attention and critical thinking away from other aspects of the game. So you're gonna play worse until what you're doing becomes second nature or subconscious. So say you're trying to implement Strike Wars, specifically just striking second to win them. While you are totally focused on that happening, you will kind of tune out a lot of what else is happening on the field. What is going to eventually happen is, after practicing this enough, you will be focused on some other part of the game. Your goalie is going to pass it upfield through you. You didn't hit it because you didn't need to. The core is going the right direction. The opponent hits it, and now you have the strike priority. All while you were focused on some other part of the game. That means you've unlocked this as a tool in your subconscious, and you don't have to think about it anymore. All right, last point on this. Did I say mental earlier? Okay. Listen, I've read a few books. They have some mixed and good information. I could get really clinical and break down the logic and the studies, but let's try something different for this, all right? We're gonna have a heart-to-heart. But do remember, this is just my opinion, and you're, of course, entitled to have your own. There are going to be times when you mess up, and it's not going to feel good. And you may think to yourself, you're a stupid idiot. And there's going to be times when you play well, and it's going to feel good. And you may even tell yourself, good job. That will happen no matter your skill level or rank. If you can get past that, and still want to grow and learn, then congrats. You have some ambition or wisdom, and I love that for you. Those voices will stay. So I will try to remind you as sincerely as I can that self-reflection through VOD review or just mentally critiquing your own play as it happens should detach yourself from your gameplay. If you can know that a stupid play doesn't make you stupid, especially if you have the smarts to identify it, then you can critique yourself without attachment or interest. Okay, so imagine this scenario. You sit down to VOD review yourself, and you're like, I'm going in to find things to improve on. And then you find the most troubling play. That's what you set out to do. Don't get upset that you found it. I don't know. Maybe this is information that you guys feel like you just really know, and I was just really late to get to it. But I don't know. It's just my impression of, it's my anecdotal evidence. I enjoy the discourse and the discussions. So let's keep having them. All right, so I thought this was gonna be like a 5-minute edit. It is not. So sorry about that, but thank you guys for watching. This has been on my mind for some amount of time, and I wanted to put it in some sort of words and have, I don't know, a log of it, I guess. But hopefully I can get back to other content as well. I was really eager to do it, and then I just didn't for the rest of the beta. I'm competing now still for Quest. I didn't think I was going to do that until Lewis hit me up. So we'll be competing with Yeesh, and I'm excited for that. So there's gonna be more content. I'll get to it eventually. We'll just see when. But thanks again, and have fun on release.